What's poppin', Mindful Reality family? Welcome to Mindful Reality, the channel that covers reality TV from a mental health perspective. I got the objective done today. Actually, I told y'all that I was going to do a live possibly before I went on, and then I was going to do a live after the video was done. And this is because I booked the studio that I was in from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m., which I usually do. I always give like an hour before to get myself set up. And then I give myself an hour after for decompression. Some of y'all said, hey, it's a possibility that she gives you more than an hour. And I was like, I'm thinking that I am going to get exactly an hour. And I got about an hour and a half, which is pretty dope, you know. So the time that I paid for, 45 minutes, the time that I got was like an hour and a half. And it was really, I watched it back. I spent the last hour and a half before I got on here watching it back. And I said that I wanted it to be the best one that I've done. And for some specific reasons, I feel like it is the best one that I've done. But I'm going to leave that up to the group to actually decide once I post it. Hi, Ma. Present. Let me see if I can show share screen. Yeah, hold on a second. Let me see if I can show y'all like a little bit. I want to show y'all a little tiny bit. Can't show you all of it, but I'm going to show y'all a little bit. All right, share screen. By the way, the John and Beth podcast that I was telling y'all about, it's out now. So I didn't get a chance to watch that because they happened to drop it on the same day as this, but I'm gonna watch that probably in a few days. And why can I not find the screen that I'm looking for? Window. Oh, here we go. Let's see what we're looking like here. Hold on a minute. Oh, here we go. Okay. Let's see here.
So excited. Like, I know I'm scared of everything, but I'll just put that out there.
I'll ask you, what's up with the puzzle score? Like, why were you so bad with the puzzles?
Yeah.
And then, what did you say?
I was like, I had no clue what I was doing. Like, I don't know. Like, you want me to jump over the wall and run really fast straight and do some pull-ups? Cool. Like, this is fun. Jungle gym. But when you do all that and then there's a puzzle, I'm like, wait, what? Like, I just couldn't even process what they were asking me to do. I was so confused. So, and Jarrell was like, his decision making was like, well, I'll be able to figure out the puzzle if she can't, but at least she's lighter than Laurel, so she'll be easier to pull or hold or whatever. And that's why he picked me. And she's mad and has held this against me forever that he picked her first and then changed his mind.
You know what? I was going to say it was a crazy theory, but now you're actually saying it. So I guess it's not a crazy theory. Maybe that's actually what it was. Because, like I said, unless there's something we were missing, you can watch all the episodes and be like, why is she like, you don't deserve to breathe my air.
Yeah.
You can't. You're a JV player. I'm like, where is all this stuff coming from? And it still, to this day, doesn't actually make sense to me.
I just wouldn't treat someone like that. I don't get it. Maybe it's an athlete thing. I don't know, and that's why I'm not used to it. But yeah.
But moving on a little bit from that, because there's still more, unfortunately, and upcoming seasons.
Yeah.
You talked about when you became strong, and I actually went back and watched the elimination you were talking about against Emily Schramm, where you and her competed in a pole wrestle. Round 1, you pretty much held your own, even though she got you eventually, and she was like, "Oh, she's stronger than I thought. She doesn't give up."
I had the worst technique going in that. I think my arms were straight. I didn't know what I was doing. Like, I didn't even have them. You should be tight, like bent, like right up in it. And I was like, I had no clue what I was doing in that one. Bad technique.
That's why I say that even though you didn't start as an athlete, you've kind of become an athlete through doing these things. Because or maybe you just learned how to do those specific things.
Yeah.
From the challenge. Okay, I got you.
I think I got better at the challenge, but if you were to be like, Cara, let's go kick a soccer ball around, you would laugh.
So I wanted to know, because you said that was the beginning of your strength training journey, because you were like, I got to get my weight up, I got to get my strength up. So what was it like in the off season after that, when you started going to the gym?
I just literally went to a CrossFit gym and was like, hi, I do this show and this girl is like a CrossFit beast and she just threw me over her head and I need to be stronger. And then they were like, okay. And so I just joined CrossFit. So that's basically, in short, what happened. So, but it was Emily because she was really, really, drinking the Kool-Aid for CrossFit at the time. And she looked incredible. She was strong, and she was, yeah. And I didn't perform very well that season. I think it was a combination of my partner, like my mental state of mind and stuff. So, it was not a good season for me overall, but it did give me the wake up call to go and take this crap more seriously.
I mean, generally, how much can that impact you when?
Okay, so here are the reasons why I was so happy with the interview. Number one, I looked at some of my other interviews before I got into this one, so I could see how they were, what I could learn from, mistakes, good parts. One of the interviews I looked at was my first one with Wes. I was so nervous in my interview with Wes. I was like, I don't want to look like that again. Not that I can control whether I look nervous or not. It's just whether I feel nervous or not. And the thing is, it was my first time talking to Wes. So I feel like I was more nervous talking to Wes because I had never spoken to him before. I spoke to him via chat, but not like I'm seeing him and speaking to him. And it was also my first, pretty big interview like that. That wasn't the case here. I didn't feel nervous here at all. And I think that it translated to that. I didn't look nervous. I actually, believe it or not, got through all the questions that I wrote down. And I was starting to panic a little bit because we were about 35 minutes into the interview, and I had not even gotten to the season 40 stuff yet. And I had told y'all over and over that the season 40 part was probably the most important part when it comes to wrangling in the new viewers, because I was like, if I don't get to the current season, people are going to lose interest. So I got to close to an hour, and I think that I hadn't even reached season 40 content yet. And I asked her at about 50 something minutes, I was like, how are you for time? And she says to me, I haven't even been looking at the time. And I was like, I have some more questions to ask you. And she was like, fire away. We are going to go until your questions are done. And I felt so relieved after I heard that. And some of y'all were like, maybe you're going to get some bonus time and maybe you're going to get a post interview. I did get bonus time. I got 30 minutes of extra time. Matter of fact, it was 30 minutes of extra time on camera, but she got on the camera at 5. We didn't start recording until about 5:10, maybe a little after 5:10, and we didn't stop recording until about 5:40 something. My mistake, 6:40 something. So we were actually on there for close to 2 hours. We recorded for about an hour and a half, and then she was like, we'll chop it up. We'll chop it up once season 5, All-Star season 5 comes up. And then she said, maybe we can even get in a quick podcast. Maybe we can get in like a quick video podcast the next time I see you. So, I mean, there's a couple of places that I know that she's going to be. I don't know if I'm going to go to those places, but there's a possibility for a follow-up. I hope I do get a follow-up, and I can't wait to actually post this interview. I'm not looking forward to editing it because it's quite long. I mean, it's not like the longest one I've ever done, but most of these people, when they say an hour, it's an hour. She said on the interview a few things. She said that the gift that I gave her, the stars, was the best thing that she ever received from a fan. That was pretty cool. We talked about everything I wrote down. We talked about a little bit about Laurel. We talked a bit about Nicole. We talked about how she feels about the star advantage. We talked about her elimination with Tori. We talked about her friendship with Tori. We talked about her break from the challenge. It's not really, when I say edit, it's not really because of taking out anything she said. It's because it froze a few times. So by edit, there's two things that I mean. One, taking out the couple of parts where the video froze, and then number two, I need to add my border to it is what I'm trying to do. So I don't mean edit as in change the video. I never do that. I've never done that. The only time I've ever edited a video, an interview really, is my interview of Ayanna. And the only reason I did that was because the interview ran for like 2.5 hours. And that was because we didn't talk for 2.5 hours. She had her kids in the house. So we would talk for like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. And then she would be like, oh, I got to tend to my kid. And then I would have to like wait for her to come back. And then I had to just chop those parts out. There was one little part of that interview that I did chop up, and it was because we were talking at the same time. And I just felt that it was a little bit, like, it was just a little bit not clean. So I did kind of like chop that part up. But aside from that, I don't really do edits like that. But I am doing edits. One thing that I'm saying about edits, though, that I am doing is because I've learned that some of my interviews get buried on YouTube. So I'm making little clips of everything. That's what I plan to do. Make several clips like what everyone else does for those popular podcasts so that I can post the clips to generate the interest. And then post the whole interview, and then people can come on YouTube and see the full interview. Because there's like a small percentage of people that just come on YouTube to watch a whole hour-and-a-half interview. This world works in snippets, so I'm going to be posting TikTok, Instagram. I don't use Snapchat. It's basically just going to be TikTok, Instagram, maybe Twitter, and then I'm also going to post on YouTube. But I'm going to post a full video on YouTube, but I'm also going to post segments on YouTube as well and Facebook. So when I say editing, that's kind of what I mean, more so than the full video edit. So we're going to see how that goes because I want to maximize what I did here. This is not the kind of thing that I'm going to be doing every day. And I want to make sure that I get the most out of it. And shout out to Cara, man, because let me just tell you how much of a real one that she was for this, right? I saw her thing that was advertised, $300 for a 30-minute interview. And I almost got that one. And I said, $300 for a 30-minute interview is way too short. That's what I said to myself. It's way too short. So I said, the hour interview is $500. It's not like I really have the money for it like that, but what can I really say in half an hour? It's going to run out way too fast, and it's just not, I'm going to be unhappy about that. Paid the $500. She says to me, please cancel that and pick the cheaper option, and I'm going to give you an extra half an hour. So basically she canceled the $500 one. I booked the $300 one. She said she was going to give me an hour. When we got to the hour, like I said, I asked her, are you good with time? Like, how are you with time? And she was like, I'm not even counting the time. And when we ended, it wasn't even like, oh, hey, we're at the end. It was like, she said, Mark, I'm sorry, my phone is at 1%. So we're going to have to cut it for here. So I just got in my last couple of things that I was going to say. And that was it. Hold on. Let me see if I can find.
Back to Johnny, I was trying to protect his ass. You have to go through the dark to see the light.
Let me see. Let me see what else I want to show y'all. Let me see what else I want to show y'all. Hold on. I'm only going to be on for a little bit tonight because, quite frankly, I'm on the tired side. But why is this not allowing me? Present. I'm trying to, okay. It just worked a minute ago. I'm sorry about this, y'all. Oh, here we go. There we go. It popped back up.
Me and Polly could have broken up 100 times, and we survived. And I can't, as difficult as that was, I don't think I'd be in such a good place now if I didn't have to go through that. And I see the challenge world entirely different. I'm incredibly thankful to be a part of it. I don't take, the social media stuff. I'm out of it. Clearly Twitter's been deleted. I don't really post that often. Everything's not challenged. I'm on TikTok doing silly things or TikTok shop or random observations. Like I'm trying to have an identity and get a fan base outside of just the challenge, so that I don't get melted in again, and I can keep myself in this healthy sort of light.
I can understand that. You do 14, 15 years or seasons of something, and then it just melds in with your identity. And I remember you even talking about how you used to take things that happened on the show in a really personal way. Like, why are these people who are my friends throwing me into this elimination? But outside of here, we're cool and we have these nice conversations. But then all of a sudden, I'm the one that they're throwing in. So I liked the fact that I heard you say you were able to create a separation where you're like, game is game and personal is personal, and I'm going to keep those on their own islands.
Took a long time to get there, but yeah, because I took everything personal, you know, and I would think, don't trust anybody. I still think, especially don't trust anybody. But I would start to open my heart to people or expect that people would treat me the way I treated them. And when people would take any opportunity to use me for clout, and just the complete toxicity of what was social media at the time, it's wildly different now. And it's such a different time. And back then it was just, I think that you have to go through the dark to see the light. And I am in such a good place mentally, like who I am, what I bring to the show, who I am within the franchise itself. I'm in a very content, happy place, and I feel like I can separate the game officially and the things the fans say about an edit, and I just don't care about anything as long as I get the chance to play. I'm happy. Clearly, like, you know, when certain situations happen, like with the Laurel thing, I'm like, well, here's what happened. I just want to tell you my story of what happened that day. That's it. We'll let it out there. We'll let it live. So things like that, I'll say, but like you're not going to hear me saying. I'll never say like bad things about people or name call people.
You really don't.
I just say, hey, this happened. This is how I felt. You know, like that's kind of how I go about things now, and I stay out of the drama as best I can.
As best you can.
Yeah.
So something you said, I was thinking a couple of things I was thinking about as you were talking. One is in your cameo to me when you said the hardest challenges make the strongest heroes.
Yes.
So that whole arc that you're talking about, where the fandom was saying reckless things to you and you were questioning who you are, I think that made you this whole person that you are right now, and you might not have been that without it.
Without any of it, I think even there's a lot of people that have been on the challenge that they're the same. No matter if you watch them on their first season or their last season, they're the same person, right? And I started doing the challenges when I was 23, and I feel like I've changed so much. I started as a complete underdog, non-athletic whatsoever, having to crawl my way to the top. That's difficult. So that's something that rather than coming in at the top, coming in as a savage athlete, top division, whatever the heck. So people related to me with that, and they were like, do I like her? I don't like her. Oh, she's getting better. Oh, she's trying. You know, so it's a struggle where a lot of people wouldn't welcome that. It's going into 1 million eliminations, but a lot of people don't want to do that. It's all the hard things that you don't want to do, but when you get through them and you push through them and you're able to see what you're made out of, that's what makes you stronger. That's what makes people root for you. That's what allows you to help other people that are going through their own dark times. And, you know, even making it to the top, maybe getting too big for my britches, maybe getting too callous, too hardened, too many bricks built around my fortress because of how many times I've been hurt or screwed over, you know? And now I've been able to break down those walls and actually be able to be truly and fully me, whether that's me or Carl. But I just feel like I'm at...
Shout out to Carl.
Shout out to Carl, wherever he is. But I feel like I'm at a good place, you know? And you get there from going through the dark, hard times. And that's really what it is. I like to tell everybody over again, would you root for Batman if he just was steamrolling everybody the whole time?
No, you would not.
Do you root for the Avengers if it's just, oh yeah, pew, 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 everybody's dead, we're awesome? Or are you like, oh my God, wait, how are they going to get out of this? Yeah.
You got to get through a story. They got to be in some kind of danger.
Yeah.
Character building choices where they have a choice to get some kind of crazy revenge on somebody, but then they're like, wait, I'm a hero. I can't just be reckless and do the same thing they were doing to me. Which I'll kind of circle back to that. But something else I wanted to say was one of the first challengers I ever met was Johnny Bananas. he was at a Challenge Mania event in New York, and when he said he was retired. He actually had said at one time, he was like, I'm retired from the challenge. So one of the first things that I asked him when I saw him, I was like, are you really retired? And I was so shocked by his answer. He was like, I'm definitely not retired. That part didn't shock me. But he was like, I needed a mental health break. And I was like, you seem to be able to, I was thinking to myself, you seem to be able to like absorb everything that's hectic and chaotic. And it's like, I am Johnny Bananas. I'm an agent of chaos, like what he said on this last season. Like, I got Nia to doubt Jordan, and then I got Tori to get all turned up, and then I got this and this, and I'm just gonna like bask in the fact that everyone's in chaos, and I'm just gonna go back about my day.
And I could just sit here and watch that whole thing all over again. I watched it already for an hour and a half, and I don't like watching back my interviews. I actually sat down and watched this entire thing for an hour and a half, and I could sit down and watch it for another hour and a half at this point. I don't usually like my interviews that much, but this one, I hope everyone gets to enjoy it as much as I do. But I gotta say, my enjoyment of it does not depend on the fandom, the fan reactions, or anything like that. It's just, I enjoy it because I did it. You know, I completed it after all this time that I wanted to do this. I was talking about it daily, all the preparation that I did. I even have a video to show y'all of like a little bit of behind the scenes. Well, not everybody, but my members, my channel members. I have a video tomorrow, maybe when I have time. I want to show y'all some behind the scenes footage of, you know, right before the interview and right when it was starting. And like I said, I got through every question that I had on the paper, every question. I mean, I have to thank her for that because I would not have been able to get through all the questions. Hi, Marshall. Had she not given me that bonus time. And this is a huge way to start 2025 for me. Huge way to start. And I think that's all I got for now. I mean, I'll probably come on here and say more. I mean, I have content to drop. I have more things to say, but today I'm tired. It was really hard to do this. These take a lot out of me, and today I had so much going on outside of this that I had to like woosah before before I even got through the interview. So anyways, thank you all for your support, and I have to specifically thank two people who I hope see this video eventually. The two specific people that I had to thank are Charicity and Ashley H. And the reason I had to thank them is because when I said that I want to do this interview, I looked up. She said that she could do the interview for me for free, but you know, that would be on her timeline, which is very limited. So I made a post where I was like, this is how much she charges to do this interview. And I was like, do y'all think I should do it? Matter of fact, I asked all my members, I'm like, do y'all think I should do it? And everyone in the membership page, you know, gave me their opinions and advice about it. But the reason why I have to give a specific thanks to the two of them is because they both gave donations towards that. Pretty significant donations towards the $300 that was going to cost. And once I got those donations, I was like, if I get more money that equals up to the 300, which I didn't, it doesn't matter. I said, if I get more donations, that's cool. But having those two people who believe in me, it only takes one, honestly, but two people who believe in me and were willing to actually be like, I'm donating you some money in order for you to secure this thing, man. That's why I did it. I might not have done it without that, because honestly, I was really on the fence. I paid one person for an interview, like I said, but it wasn't because they charged for the interview. It was just because like an appreciation gift. This is the first time I actually did that, like a transaction, so those two people are largely responsible for the content that all of you are soon going to get to enjoy. I plan and hope that I get everything together by the weekend. The way that my days go, it's hard to guarantee anything, but I hope that I get it done by that, because I need to get it done by that. Hi, Debbie. And I feel really good about this one. Feel really good. I'm going to sleep really good tonight. So please make sure, like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And also, in the meantime, please check out the John and Beth podcast. If you watch the John and Beth podcast, I'm on there. They dropped my episode today. So check it out. Give me some feedback and let me know what you think. John Brennan and Beth S. from the Real World California, and also from the Challenge. All right, y'all. Have an amazing night.